9:52 a.m., November 25th, 2023. Beautiful day, cool breeze, walked around the lake. So, targeted justice is in the Fifth Circuit of New Orleans. This is a group of plaintiffs that have been attacked by the military-industrial complex, which includes the corrupt FBI and CIA. They have absolute irrefutable evidence of brain damage, being diagnosed by the same team that diagnosed the CIA agents, Dr. Lambert, with Havana syndrome, Richard Lighthouse being burned on multiple occasions, as are other plaintiffs, with pictures of the microwave burns. So this is so far being ignored. And what's worse is the corrupt DOJ keeps trying to change the wording in the case. So when Anna Toledo puts terrorist screening database, and when I became a member a year ago, they've always talked about the terrorist screening database. And the corrupt, treasonous, rogue element of the DOJ is calling it a terrorist screening data set. They change her wordings. They get into her computer, because nowadays, especially the corrupt government, can get into your computers, can hack your computers, take off your information. She had sections of her lawsuit taken away where she had to rewrite it, but she always keeps backups. And if everybody would go to capital T, capital J, small v, Garland, Garland, and start watching the progression of this lawsuit, because this is historic. We want to ban neural weapons. There are corrupt police, there are corrupt FBI agents, and corrupt CIA agents, a deep state that is using these directed energy weapons to attack innocent people. There are many people put on the terrorist screening database that are non-investigative subjects, meaning they have no business being on there. And the FBI had no right. This is actually going against the rule of law in our Constitution. This is treasonous. They form their own rules. They put people on that list to experiment on them. When I go to the airport, I'm always pulled over now to be, extra little patted down. And here I am, someone who has been working over 18 years with a federal agency, with the veterans, over 18 years, mind you. And so I guess I'm trusted enough to work with our veterans, and I care about the veterans deeply. I've talked to many veterans over the years. And I've been told about the V2K from the veterans coming back from Iraq. You have veterans complaining about the more gallons that they had. And that means it's part biologic, part man-made created type of stringy thing that gets in your body and spreads, causes welts and pimples and weird hairs coming out. This is all real. But the corrupt government wants to call all this stuff fantastical so they can continue their great reset of this planet. I'm telling people about the Jackal being put up 1 in every 5 days. This is by a private corporation working with Elon Musk and SpaceX and Vandenberg and Shrivas to put up these tracking and attacking satellites all over our airspace. And they say they're going to track and attack earthbound assets and other satellites. What do you think the earthbound assets mean? It means us. I'm being attacked with Havana syndrome. It's a very controlled experiment. It started from the beginning. The sounds very on for a short time, and longer periods of being off, then longer periods of being on, shorter periods of being off. It was kind of over time with different sounds. You could tell it was an experiment. You could tell it's not natural. When you're being hit with a directed energy weapon assault, it's like a very, very, very fast-paced You can tell it's higher pitched. It could be louder, or the intensity could be less. It fluctuates how they want it to. But what's really scary, everybody, is these jackals are being run by artificial intelligence now. So that means anybody, any crazy ass genius can get into and hack into these satellites at some point and take them over and attack whoever they want. And it also gives the corrupt deep state the opportunity to do that. They could say, like 30,000 people were killed in the city. Well, it was a malfunctioning satellite. It was hacked by China or Russia. You know what? They're going to come up with all kinds of scenarios. And then the ultimate goal was, when we are being attacked by all these satellites and 5G towers, and with which we have the patents on the Ericsson beamforming chip, we have the patents on the tracking of people by Shiva Space Force Base. So when we are attacked down the road and they start saying the aliens did it, oh my God, look at all these UFOs and all this crap, we know that Lockheed Skunk Works and Raytheon has reverse engineered the UFOs that were originally captured, that crashed and retrieved, thanks to their, our corrupt military industrial complex and their scalar weapon technology. There's even, if you go to Dr. Greer and you go to his YouTube channel, you will actually see one of these scalar weapons going out into space like a laser beam. Call it the death ray, okay? Tesla knew how dangerous that was. He wanted free electricity for everybody, which we could all have, by the way. But the military grabbed all this, Tesla died, and they now created their death rays on extraterrestrials and our government. And I wonder how many of these helicopter crashes, our military helicopter crashes, were targeted, because these scalar technology and their weapons that they're using can jam up GPS signals, can take control of people's cars. It's horrendous what's going on now. I want to live naturally as God intended us. I don't want to be a transhumanism. And that's what these demonic forces want. They want people to be interfaced with computers. And we're heading in that direction really fast, because we've become a complacent society that's always into our cell phones and not paying attention to what's happening. There should be massive protests against this. The Congress is afraid because they're very powerful. We don't have the military arsenal to defend ourselves against these treasonous rogue elements in our government, with all their advanced UAPs that can go thousands of miles per hour, if not hundreds of thousands. They can fold space and time, quantum entanglement. Now they want to get out in space. You know why it's so dangerous with all these scalar weapons? Because they damage the fabric of space and time. They shift things in space, and it's affecting other civilizations. So at some point, they're going to have to do something about it. Seriously, they don't want to have to do something about it. But when they do something about it, I hope to go after the goddamn fucking military-industrial complex, and I put it out there, to the extraterrestrials. Hey, not the good people down here. Go after them in all their tunnels. And like at the South Pole, where Raytheon has the largest elf wave there is, and it's a weapon where they create massive earthquakes, like in New Zealand, 2011. And so I suggested to Congress when I called them, why don't you take the military and go down to the South Pole and see what Raytheon's up to? Because you have people down there complaining about using the scalar technology for voice to skull. People have to open their eyes to that. There is classified technology, Tesla technology. What Elon Musk has is not true Tesla technology. He calls it Tesla, but you have to have a big polluting battery to run all those cars, and eventually our electric grid won't be able to handle all those electric cars when we plug them in. It's going to take down the electric grid, do you see? But the military-industrial complex has a true Tesla technology. They have the kind of energy that can go on forever. They know how to get into that energy People that try to develop it, they're either bought out or they're killed. It's been hushed up for many years. And see this beautiful, beautiful place? I don't want to lose this. We don't need to interface with computers. We weren't meant to do that. We need to be in harmony with this planet and the animals and come back to being spiritual beings.